Brexit is blamed for Lloyds Bank losing 200 branches and shedding 3,000 staff. Since Munich and France and the terror, is the UK ready for a terrorist attack? Hillary Clinton has accepted the presidential nomination for the Democratic Party, but is it all about Trump still? All we're hearing is Trump, Trump, Trump.
Do you really think Donald Trump has the temperament to be commander-in-chief?
Jamaicans celebrating 50th year as an independent nation. How independent are we? And finally, Jamaica National Building Society and Victoria Mutual Building Society, Jamaican leading banks in the UK, having problems with the correspondent banks. You're watching In Review, the show that looks back at the biggest stories and brings you expert interviews on matters important to you. Welcome to In Review. I'm Sylbourne Sydial and I'm joined by Rudi Page today. Rudi Page is the Chief Executive of Making Connections Work. Rudi has an extensive track record representing the UK Caribbean Diaspora professionals as Chief Executive, of RAFA International Development Agency, was a source of substantial medical equipment, including a mobile collection unit of National Blood Transfusion Service, Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome, Rudi.
Good morning, Sylbourne.
Listen, as you can see, today is a bicycle day, you know. That's why the House of Commons and the Parliament here is all completely cordoned off. Did you ride?
I came down on the tube.
Well, listen, Rudi, there's been lots of news this week, and we're just going to capture a few because there's so much. But one of the key news today is that Brexit, is blamed for Lloyds Bank closing 200 branches and shedding off 3,000 staff. Is Brexit a danger to the UK, Rudi?
I don't know if it's a danger. I mean, there's a reality of Brexit now, and the country is forging a new relationship with Europe. And I believe it's much more to do with the digital technology, the revolution that we're going through. So I don't know if it's Brexit. I think it was already on the plans, because I think a couple of years ago they announced there were going to be 3,000 job losses. So that would be phased over a period of time. So, but I guess it's topical, so there's always viewpoints.
So are we saying that people are actually using the Brexit factor to sort of, time to bury bad news?
Well, people certainly go into their branches a lot less than they ever did, and I guess it could be used as a factor. Anything that's topical can be related to why corporate decisions are being made.
And ladies and gentlemen, also during the news this week, it spoke about that some banks, I think Lloyds Bank I'm not sure if it was Lloyds Bank, planning to actually charge persons for their savings account. So therefore, people are actually going to start thinking about saving money under the bed.
Well, hopefully they will invest that in new businesses, and we've got lots of entrepreneurs who need money for their businesses. So maybe this is a time to invest.
Well, we'll keep following the Brexit as much as possible right through. And Rudi, the next one is that since Munich and France, with all the terror attack, one of the questions people are asking, I just took the train a while ago, and I sometimes see some of these massive shopping complex. Is the UK, you believe, ready for a terror attack?
Well, if you think when we were growing up in the 70s and 80s, London in particular, we had the IRA and the whole thing in Northern Ireland. So I think London as a city is used to be on high alert. So London will carry on doing what London does. But of course, you have to be aware. You really do. So I don't think that we will change our lifestyle. We will keep doing what we do.
Well, I guess it is the British Bulldog spirit. And I did some research, and it says from a scale of 0 to 5, the Home Office scaled the possibility of a terrorist threat to the UK at 4. Severe, that means severe, highly likely to happen very soon. As a consequence, the MI5 now channels 81% of their resources in anti-terrorist work. According to the MI5, the risk of a terrorist attack being perpetrated successfully against the UK is higher, considering that in the past, the previous terrorist plots in the UK were planned by British citizens, and at present, many are returning from areas as Syria without the permission of the UK government. Think about that for a second.
Yes, that's very challenging. So again, everybody just has to be on alert, but go about their their
Business
daily
as-
lives.
yeah.
Yeah, business as usual.
Well, it continues by saying the UK government has set up agencies and stations in strategic points across the UK to help prevent and fight any terrorist taking place in the UK. The intelligence fighting terrorism in the UK are 1. ISIS Secret Intelligence Services, 2. GCHQ, Joint Intelligence, and guess what they say? What needs to happen? According to the National Counter-Terrorist Security, we should hide, run and tell, dial 999, report anything suspicious to the UK anti-terrorist hotline, and this number is 0800 789 321. So I guess what that is saying is keep continuing, going about your business as usual with the British Bulldog spirit. You agree?
The British Caribbean Bulldog spirit.
Oh, we have twisted it. The British Caribbean Bulldog spirit. Now, Rudi, the next point also I wanted to touch on is the American factor. We have now Hillary Clinton accepted the Democratic nomination, and from what I've been seeing, it's all about Trump.
Really?
Well, that's all I keep hearing. They're bashing Trump there, they're bashing Trump over there, they're bashing Trump everywhere.
Well, I still follow Obama's message of hope
Yes.
and inclusion and all of us living together regardless of our backgrounds, which is important.
Someone said recently that the best speech that Hillary Clinton made was when President Obama gave his endorsing speech and she came out and she pointed her finger. And they said, that's the best speech she made.
Well, you know, President Obama was great because he really showed what it means to pass the baton and to ensure that his legacy continues with that right message.
Well, one of the important things, though, is the fact that, as she said, the glass ceiling has been smashed, whereby now you have had a black president, and now it is more than likely that you'll have a woman president, or you could have a movie star apprentice person, Trump. Because we can't write off Trump, can we?
Well, I really believe that we're going to have a woman president, probably. I say we, it's not our president. But again, I follow President Obama's passing of the baton, that inclusive society, you know, good for everybody, and everybody thrives and flourishes. It is really a serious point. I know we can joke about it, but I think it's really important because inclusion is the number one for us.
But I'm going to ask a question. But do you believe that with the Obama factor, that the world is looking for those inspirational person that inspire? Because you just said a while ago, out of your own breath, that it's like there's a relationship. Is it more than just black, or just the rhetorics?
Well, it is about relationship, and it is about ideas, and it is about inspiration. If you think of President Mandela, and you know what he went through, we said our President Mandela, and all people of all backgrounds said our President Mandela. So it is about people who do inspire and give people hope, but they have that inclusive message, which is most important, because that's where you get skills and improvement in society, where people get together and say it's about all of us.
Right. Now that's interesting. Would you consider then, my viewers, those watching, Obama as your president? That's a good question. Rudi, Jamaica is celebrating now the 54th independence. And just yesterday, there was a service of celebration. How independent are we? Well, I say are we, because we're Jamaicans at the House of Commons in London here, with the backdrop of Westminster, the mother of Parliament. How independent are we?
I believe you're a British citizen, Sylbourne.
Well, you got to be dual.
Absolutely. Well, if you think where Jamaica's coming from, I think Jamaica's done well. 54 years, and at the end of the day, it could do much better.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe the role of the diaspora is to get involved and to help, again, the inclusive growth and development, sustainable development is really important. Yeah. And we have a role. And of course, it could be improved. And I think that we should do our best to get involved.
Now, talking about the Jamaican diaspora and yourself now, because I also strongly believe in working and engaging within the diaspora. But based on the work that you're doing, give us a bit more as to that level of engagement.
Well, I'm working on a program called the Caribbean Diaspora Delivery System, where we're really looking at working together across all of the Caribbean communities, as I think we've mentioned before. And over the next few months, we're going to focus on the actual digital transformation of the traditional diaspora leadership, management and involvement model. So what we're saying, we're going to use the technology and look at the talent who are using technology and how does that improve our international trade and logistics, our global health and wellness, rural development, schools, education, health, and then develop a partnership. Recently, the UK, I think the body's called the UK Caribbean Ministerial Forum in Bahamas. I think it was in April. The UK again committed itself to working closer with the Caribbean under the theme of building stronger partnerships for growth and development. Now, the diaspora has an important role to play in that, and we've got to make our voice heard. So over the next few months, you will see that a wide range of stakeholders will be focusing on that. So to improve things here for the diaspora, but also to help within the Caribbean.
And that is interesting what you said right there, because even with the recent Brexit, and I've been championing this cause whereby the Boris Johnson mentioned amnesty for illegal immigrants. Nigel Farage and part of the Brexit team mentioned about engaging and working more collaboratively closer with the Commonwealth, which is our best partners. I think, isn't it appropriate now that we really seize these moments, seize these opportunities?
Yeah, we really have to seize the opportunity because Britain now has an international trade department. And so more of British talent from right across the country will be focusing on international trade and, ensuring that they can bring business back to this country, which develops the communities and the supply chain. But if you think of our particular interest, which is the Caribbean, that is really important. So I'm hoping as well that the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth Secretariat and all of the people who are involved with that will also start to look at the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora, and work with us. Because we do have a bit of an interesting situation where at some point the Commonwealth wants to be better recognised by the British government for its efforts, but at the same time the Caribbean diaspora needs to be better recognised by the Commonwealth itself. And obviously with the recent appointment of Baroness Scotland, and again coming from the Caribbean community here in the UK, I look forward to some progress in that area because the Commonwealth does need to improve its track record of engaging the Caribbean diaspora and all the talent that we have here.
Now, interesting that you said that. And my last point will be Jamaica National Building Society, one of the Jamaican banks, and Victoria Mutual Building Society are saying they're banding together to resolve corresponding banking fallout. Do you know about that story, Rudi?
I've seen the publicity, but I guess like when I say I've seen the publicity, I've seen the adverts that have been going around in the emails. But I would like to understand in more detail and probably see more forums here where the Caribbean community, particularly the Jamaican community, can actually understand what are the implications for their savings and for future investment in Jamaica through those particular banks.
And if I can give a background to this, what is happening, the corresponding banking issues, there's key banks within the UK, won't mention the name, I'm not privy to that, that work with Victoria Mutual Building Society, that does remittance, Jamaica National Building Society, that does remittance. Apparently they're actually seizing the business that they do with these organizations, that is the main banks over here. Now, it has been around for a while, but one of the things that I say, Rudi, at times is that just like when Jamaicans were forced, or the visa restrictions came in for Jamaica, we only knew when everything happened. And what I'm actually saying is that I think the organization and those companies need to really utilize the diaspora to actually effectively lobby. What do you say about that?
Well, you raised a good point, and adding to my last point, I think, and we should look into this, is that the diaspora itself we should find out, well, what is the policy? What is the actual policy behind this decision and inform ourselves, and then work with those particular banks to see, what the solution is. So there certainly needs to be some forums for improving the public information and understanding of the implications for their savings. Absolutely.
Thank you. Now, on that note, it's very important that we actually tap into this, and we just actually touched on a bit of that particular news item. We'll get some more, and we will actually follow this up as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining In Review this week. Got to go. Rudi Page, I want to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.